Hello everyone, welcome again. I'm Teacher Michael, taking you through the Abacus and Chess learning program. Abacus and Chess learning program. Today we are doing chess lesson 2, and the last time we did chess lesson 1, we talked about the history of chess and how it was developing as time goes in the world. Now, I told you that in this second session or unit 2, we are going to cover a couple of items. We have around 7 subjects we are going to cover very fast. And if you are writing down, you can always put them down. We are going to look at the chessboard as one. Number 2, rank or row, rank or row. Number 3, file or column, file or column. We have number 4, diagonal. 5, names of squares, and finally number 6, center squares. Number 6, we are going to look about the center squares of a chessboard. So one, let's check about the chessboard. You see, chess is played on a chessboard. When you look at a chessboard, like the one you see over there, that's a chessboard. You first see the squares. The squares line up side by side and overlap. The colors of the squares are contrasting, as you can see. For mine, I have got light blue and white. However, we have different shades. We can have black and white. We can have brown and light brown. We can have orange and another lighter color, and so on. So the idea is that the chessboard has got light and dark colors, but oftenly or many times they are called white and black. Whatever you take, it's okay. Now, there are 64 of them in total. Half of them are light and the others are dark. We use the name chessboard for the big square consisting of all the 64 black and white squares, as you can see on your screen. So what are the features of the chessboard? What are some of the features of the chessboard? As you can see, the shape of the chessboard is square, dividing the chessboard horizontally and vertically. Now let's see what's a rank. A rank, we have said, is also called a row. And what is it? Any horizontal row on the chessboard is called a rank. When I talk about horizontal, I'm talking about right to left, or a position left to right. Ranks are noted with the numbers 1 to 8 so that you can be able to identify them. Looking from down here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So this is the first rank. We have the second rank. We have got the third, the fourth, fifth, and so on, as you can be able to see. Sorry. That's all about a rank. We have file or column. These are any vertical rows that you see on the chessboard. They are denoted, or they are noted using letters, that is A to H, so that you can be able to identify them. From my chessboard, you can see I have got A, B, C, D, E, F, G through to H. So a file is using the most local terms, maybe from top to bottom or bottom to top. This is one file, or file A, file B, file C, D, and so on through to H. That's how we name the columns of the chessboard. I'll teach you something else closer to that. We have something called adjacent square. When you talk about adjacent square, the squares which are side by side are the ones we call adjacent. For example, let's look at this square. You can be able to see it, this one and this one. In a short while, I'll show you how to name them. They are adjacent because they are side to side. Take an example of this and this. They are adjacent because they are side by side. I want to talk about diagonals. A diagonal is running from one corner to the other of the opposite direction. For example, you can see this box here. Moving from this box to this last box here, I have this 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a horizontal, or a diagonal. Look at this one written through here. I have this, 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 and this. That's a horizontal. And the last one, look at this white line here. All this is called a diagonal. That's called a diagonal. So before I show you the center squares, I'm going to show you how to name these boxes very fast so that you can know why we named the ranks and the rows. So when naming any box on the chessboard, we use letter to number. For example, you see this last or first box here, it has got A and 1, so the box is called A1. This is A2 because we have file 2, file A, rank 2. This is box A2, A3, A4, A5, and so on. Coming back to this one, I have got B1, B2, B3, B4, B5, and so on. So should I sample this one, I've got H1, H2, H3, H4, and so on. If I sample this one, I have got F. You can see this is F, file F, and I'm at rank 8. So F8, I've got F7, F6, F5, and so on. That's how we name all the boxes on the chessboard. So I'm going to show you the center boxes. We normally have 4 center boxes. So which are these? I have got E4, E5, D4, and D5. This is E4. This is E4. Take your time and look at the box well. You see I'm at file E and rank 4. That's how I land at E4. And again I have E5 just next to it, E5. I have got D4 and I have got D5. So the names of the center squares on the chessboard are E4, E5, D4, D5. I have another one more recap. There is a line we normally call a middle line. A middle line. This is normally an imaginary line that divides your chessboard between the 4th and 5th rank. This is an imaginary line. Look, I have the 4th and the 5th rank. In between them is an imaginary line that cuts the chessboard into 2. The work of the middle line is to tell you that we have what we normally call white's space of activity. As you can see, up to rank 4, this is white's space of activity, and from rank 5, 6, 7, and 8, we call this area blacks space of activity. Just to tell you that should I be having a piece that crosses over, let's say a game was going on and this piece crosses over, then you see this white piece has crossed over to black space of activity, black space of activity. So that's how we normally put or talk about the middle line. So you have seen we have white space of activity and black space of activity. You can take your time and read any boxes on the chessboard. I go to file or column, file or column. We have said that the 8 vertical columns of squares on the board running from top to bottom are what we call file. So I needed to tell you that normally there are 8 of them, and when you talk about the ranks or rows running horizontally, there are also 8 of them. And a diagonal is a straight line of squares of same color touching corner to corner. Not all diagonal paths are equal. When you look at the diagonals, not all of them are equal. Let's see from A1 to H8. This is the longest diagonal that we have. Or from H1 here to A8. This is the longest diagonal. So remember, that's the longest. And we can sample the shortest. So the shortest, for example, will be, say, 7. Here we have box A7 to box B8. This is one of the shortest diagonals that we have. We also have another one here. It's very short. We also have another one here, G1 to H2, short. And we also have B1 to A2 being one of the shortest diagonals. And we have seen how the longest diagonals look like. You have also learned how to name the squares on the chessboard, and you can tell me which are the center squares. So you ought to do more practice on the chessboard so that you are able to learn how to name them. For example, which square is this black piece into? Which square is this? So you'll have to use letter to number, that is F5. So this is box F5. Which square is this white piece sitting in? This is C4. This is box C4. For example, which piece is this black sitting on? This is box C6. You can see file C and rank 6. That's all about the 6 subjects that we have covered. In my next lesson, I will teach you how to work along and to move some pieces. I will talk about the value of pieces and so on. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, put on the notifications so that in the next session you'll be able to capture what's going on and you should not be left behind. Thank you.